Mm.
in your journey. But your work highlights emotional toll that high stress professionals suffer.
Sure.
And there's quite a comparison with like black males.
Mm-hmm.
They have like a heavy pressure on them, societal pressures.
Mm-hmm.
How would you advise, or what kind of coping mechanisms would you give black men that are feeling societal pressures, cultural pressures, especially with our culture being having such a stigma around mental health? What kind of strategies would you help them to use to overcome some of the mental health issues they suffer? And also, what kind of advice can you give for us as a community to kind of do away with the stigma around mental health?
That's a brilliant question.
A long one, sorry.
Let me reverse engineer that. I've spoke about this a number of different times. I'm really passionate about this, right? So when you look at Tyrese, okay, and Tyrese comes on the Breakfast Club, or he does a Instagram live or
story,
whatever,
yeah.
and he's crying, right? And he's tearful, and he becomes a meme. He becomes
horrible.
He becomes a joke.
Yes.
Right? And then you've got other black men who are emotional on camera, and they become a meme and they become a joke.
Michael
right?
Jordan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then there was one particular young man at the time. He's obviously a lot older now, and his name was Dominic.
Yes.
And
Christmas time,
right?
Yes, Dominic.
And he made a bad judgment and decision. You know, we're not going to go too deep into that, but because of that judgment of decision, he became an every year meme and an every year joke.
Yes.
Now, what does that statistic say? Every time, or most of the time, that black men express themselves emotionally or make bad decisions, they're penalized by the masses. So black men are learning very quickly
not to show emotion.
Exactly. Become insular.
Yes.
Do not share certain things. And because we're now in a new day of social media as well, where women tend to expose their men if their men behind the scenes are making mistakes, if they're broke, if they're not doing well overall. And so black men are learning overall to shut down
and internalize,
which is causing mental health problems even more.
Yes.
Pressure burst pipes.
Yes.
Right? So reversing engineering what you're saying is, first and foremost, our community needs to have more empathy, compassion, understanding from a community perspective. I think men needs to hold men to account, and women needs to hold women to account. Because when it's the other way around, both sides say the other side doesn't understand.
It becomes imbalanced.
Exactly. Right? So I think that a woman needs to say to another woman, this needs to stop. You need to stop with this. I'm dead serious. And men needs to be able to turn to another man and say, I'm going to say something to you right now, but do not use it against me, and just understand what I'm going through right now. Right? So from a community perspective, we need to hold each other to account when it comes to the way that we judge each other. Yeah? Right. Because it gets nicked in the bud there.
Straight away, yeah.